done that before?
We put that in this week, just hoping that we might get an opportunity. Something we've been talking about since last year. He's been begging. He's been literally begging for a year. He likes to remind us that he was a great running back. Those of y'all that follow recruiting, y'all remember him in high school. He was a great athlete. Running back, safety, did everything. Played wideout too some, but And so we practiced it this week. Just wasn't sure we were going to get it, and it was a little far out from where we wanted it. But like, well, what the heck? Let's do it. We're probably not going to get another opportunity. And so it was great that it worked out, and he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good running like he knew what he was doing.
How much of their rushing success do you put on, hey, we don't really ever face an offense like that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do a good job early. It's dive, pitch, quarterback, dive, pitch, quarterback, dive, pitch, quarterback. And, we had too many times, like, we had 10 guys doing their job. I don't know that Sammy's seen much of it. It was a little bit of a, not having Wade hurt us a little bit today too. But, I mean, it's, we tried to keep it simple, a couple calls, but we didn't do a very good job of executing. We missed some tackles too, and when you miss tackles against triple option stuff, and they ran a lot of triple option, As I told y'all coming into the week, we'll probably see a little bit more against us than maybe what I've seen on tape in some of these other games. And we did, but we ended up eventually getting the dive stopped, and then they got outside on us a few times and didn't take the quarterback, let the pitch go one time. But, it's, not something that we've worked on a ton, so that's part of it. But, yeah, and then you sub a ton of people. Game gets out of hand pretty quick, and so you get a bunch of guys in there that hadn't had quite as many reps. So, hey, give them credit, but, hey, we got it done.
Plus the coverage late
Yep.
by the defense, but redeemed themselves a little bit with that goal line stand.
Yep. Young freshman safety in there, just busted and didn't have his eyes on the right things, and that can happen. When you're playing an option team and they hide the ball. But and then we missed one. We had the first one that they missed. The one they hit was reminiscent of Wofford. I don't know what year was that, 2011. I mean, he could have fair caught that one, Wofford. He could have stopped, fair caught it, and then backpedaled to the end zone. He was so open in 2011. It was kind of similar to that, but, young player in there just busted. And then the other one, early in the game where they just missed, we had one guy didn't get the call. He didn't know the call, which if you don't know the call on defense and you're a back-end player, just back your butt up, right? If you don't know the call, just get back. At least you got a chance to figure it out and rally. And so, a couple mistakes there, but again, just did what we needed to do. Came out of it healthy. I think Venables was the only one that got banged up. So that was obviously another big plus in this game.
Specifically, what did you see on that Avion play, and how can you use that going forward as a coaching point? Because it seems like it was a pretty special play.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything starts with effort in our program. That's just a part of our foundation. Great effort. And if you're going to finish well, you got to strain and you got to put your heart into it. And that's what you saw in that play. You saw strain and you saw heart. It was awesome to see. And it's hard to coach that. That you got to have a little something down inside of you in moments like that. But, it was just a great individual effort, great technique to run him down and not just tackle him, but to have the poise to strip it out of there. And, so I'm glad they got it right because originally they didn't get it right. So I'm glad they got it right.
It was a nice scramble by Cade on that 3rd and 13, set up the long touchdown to Wesco.
Yep, just like last week, caught him in two-man. And, he's just a more savvy player, than certainly last year as a first-year starter in really recognition. It's hard when you got a guy. That's why you don't see a lot of two-man against really, really good running quarterbacks, especially experienced guys, because they'll make you pay. And, that's what happened. We caught him in a two-man call, and it was 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14, whatever it was. And we were really good on some third down executions. I think that was the one we had to overcome the penalty, I believe. think we had a block in the back or a holding out there, had to overcome that, but that was a great play by him. And another great third down conversion to Antonio, and Antonio getting vertical and getting the first down. But yeah, it was just a good play. Good play. We had a downfield play, ran them all off. He recognized it and got a rush lane and took it.
So when the rushing defense struggles throughout the year to have, I think 196 it was they had at halftime. Like again, for the starters specifically that group before you subbed, what wasn't really working there? Any cause for concern?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I was saying when we started the press conference, but we didn't do a good job with the dive, the pitch, or the quarterback. This is option football, so we didn't execute very well. So we'd have 9 or 10 guys, and when you play option football, you got to have 11 guys. We had a couple times where we had a D lineman, you got to play your gap, but he tried to swim, so now we got nobody in that gap. Okay, and when you're playing option football, everybody's got to do their job. Otherwise the ball will find the grass. And, we had a bad angle by Jamal, again, another young player, and he didn't take a good angle and got outside. We had some of that stuff inside. We had some, sometimes the end has the dive, and we didn't squeeze like we needed to. And, again, give them some credit, good execution. But that's what I said when I started the press conference. I mean, we just didn't do a good enough job in tackling the dive, setting the edge on the pitch, and tackling the quarterback. It's option football, and we didn't do a great job consistently enough, and they executed better.
It's a particularly bad offense to be inexperienced, a linebacker with way
Yeah.
out tonight.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. We used to be pretty good at it, but we used to practice it all spring, all fall camp. We used to see it every single year. But it's been a while since we've seen triple option. And again, we saw more of it tonight than really what they've done. But give them credit, and they executed well, and we didn't.
Dabo, Page's run, that's something he wouldn't have been able to do, like his first season when he got here.
At 400 pounds? Nope. We'd still be out there. Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen. I think he was 400 plus. But, no, I'm proud of him, man. I got to see his mom and dad. We always have a big deal on Friday night before the senior day. And, I give the parents kind of an opportunity to really run our meeting and, really talk about their child. And, his parents are just great people. And so just thankful for his journey and being able to be a part of his journey. But Peyton has become a great leader. He's a really good player. He's probably been our most steady guy all year. He's going to play more football after Clemson, but I'm just really proud of him. I mean, this kid has changed and transformed his life, for the long term. He's just, very disciplined with how he takes care of his body. He's very strong. He's really learned the game, and that was pretty cool. He was a captain today, and so to see him get that score, that's pretty storybook stuff for that young man. But I'm really, really proud of him. He's just got a great spirit. He's an easy guy to coach, and again, I didn't see him as becoming a great leader when he was a freshman. I'm just hoping I could get him to buy in, and man, he's a great leader. He's a great leader, and really proud of him.
Coach, you talk about complementary football is definitely that on offense. 260 through the air, 300 plus on the ground, and perfect on fourth down conversions, just over 50% on third downs. Just really good to kind of stay steady. Talk about the defense missing their spots, but able to kind of just hold their own. But offensively, just improving week to week is going to be really strong, especially with this finish.
Yeah, we didn't play obviously well in the second half last week, and we played pretty good in the first half, but really wanted to just come out of this game with some, confidence and crisp execution, and we did that. We didn't punt, and we were very, very sharp. I always say it doesn't matter who you play, it's how you play. I don't care who you play, you still have to execute, at a high level. Just like our defense, we didn't execute at a high level in stopping the triple option. We did okay, but we didn't execute at a high level. And again, now that's not something we do every week, what we did on offense, and what we see that every week, right? And so we executed at a high level, and that was really good to see. We took care of the ball. We threw and caught the ball. We've had some uncharacteristic drops these last couple of games, and so it was good to see us have 4 good quarters, really good execution. And again, Cade was awesome. We were able to, we're at our best when we can have some balance, and when we can push the ball down the field. We made some explosive plays. I mean, what a play by Wesco! That was a great route. That was an elite route. If you don't know what an elite route is, watch that one. Versus off coverage, the further off they are, the longer the move's got to be. And, man, he just really showed. And sometimes, especially a young guy, you can get a little impatient with plays like that when a guy's off and not quite sell it like you need to. But I just thought that was a just great play by him. And again, we just threw and caught the ball very well. So it was great to see.
Dabo, Barrett Carter talking about how he didn't know if he was going to cry or not when he was up there at the hill by himself. Just so many seniors running down that hill. But what about the guys that didn't get as much play time as guys like Barrett Carter? What do you hope those seniors are walking away with from their time here?
Yeah, a bunch of great young men. And, some of them would have come back for another year. But unfortunately, not going to have that opportunity. But it was great to be able to honor them. And, man, we greatly appreciate the contribution of all those guys. I mean, there's a bunch of great young future leaders that are in this group. A bunch of them. We got doctors. Wise Sears is going to be a doctor. Hogan Morton's never made that guy. Boy, what a day Hogan Morton. He had a career day. Had a block kick, 3 kicks, a tackle. He had a little bit of everything today. But he's a genetics major. Never made a B. He's already in med school. I mean, we have some really cool kids. Tristan Rigby is a guy that we've never had a guy more dedicated and committed to our program than Tristan Rigby. This kid never makes the travel squad, but he is an incredibly respected guy on our team. It doesn't matter when we travel on the road, whether we get back at 3 in the morning or 6 in the morning, Tristan Rigby is always there greeting the team. And, I mean, he's just so respected. Jaheim Scott, for 2 years, practiced every day and never going to get a chance to play. Every day at D tackle because he's ineligible. One of the coolest moments that I've had as a coach was this year. I don't remember if it was at App State when we made an appeal and they granted him eligibility. He could never dress. He could never do anything. This kid works all the time. If he's not at football practice, he's working. And, just have such respect for these guys, the sacrifices they make, how hard they work, how committed they are to just, helping others be great. And I just think and that's really how you become great, right? Like, to be great, you got to help other people be great. That's the true definition of greatness, is do you help other people become great? And, man, Jaheim Scott, just how he serves his teammates. So just so many guys. I mean, Hampton Earl, he's going right into the Secret Service. I mean, this kid, this is a badass right here now, Hampton Earl. This is a dude. I wouldn't think there's many people going into the Secret Service right out of college. I mean, we have so many of those guys. I mean, Jackson Crosby, Sam Judy, Will Boggs. We got all those seniors in there. Jackson Hall, Zach Jackson at wideout. He's been here 4 years. He's a grinder. Wise Seegers got in there and had a run. Kevin McNeil, who's been in our program for a long time. Big Banks Pope. We were trying to get him a little play in there earlier, but, just Aiden Swanson being able to finish up. Obviously, Hogan, we talked about him. A lot of great ones, man. Reed Morsey, a walk-on linebacker that y'all don't know much about, but that kid's practiced his butt off for 4 years around here and has gotten better and better and better and better. Austin Randall, Adam's brother, just cool to see those guys. Bubba McAtee, who's made a huge contribution in this program, a huge contribution. So many of those guys, so proud of them. Huckabee, whose career was ended. Quinn Kastner, watching him get down the hill was a miracle. I don't know how he got down the hill. We have so many great kids that, people don't know about, but I do. And I love every single one of them. I'm thankful for them. And I'd like to call all their names, but those are just the ones that just popped into my head right now. So, just have a great appreciation for, their work ethic and what they've meant to our program. Nathan Brooks, do any of y'all even know who Nathan Brooks is?
Offensive line.
Okay, you know that. Do you know he's been starting on field goal for several weeks now and has had to go in and play some more? I mean, he's just a guy that was a tryout guy around here. I mean, and has really become a good football player. He really has. He's become a really good player. So just, fun to see Jackson Crosby get a nice little play out there. And we didn't get Paul Tyson in, but he don't count. I wanted to run a quarterback counter with him, but he really wasn't up for it. So, but just fun to see them all have an opportunity to celebrate each other.
Why'd you hold Brennan stool?
Well, I didn't hold him. He just couldn't go today. He wasn't quite able to go.
Just banged up,
Yeah, just banged up.
day to day?
Trainers held him day to day. I'd say he's like hour to hour. He's probably hour to hour.
Coach, Kate was so excited after the Jay Haynes first touchdown. I mean, I've seen him excited. He's an excitable kid, right? But
Yeah.
he was pointing towards you or Garrett or somebody on the sideline. Did he check? Was that just a play call?
No, it was a good call. We had a good call, but we got the right look. But I think the biggest thing is we've all seen Jay Haynes in practice. We've seen him rip off some runs like that, but he hadn't really had, we've obviously ridden Maffa, all year, and he's had a few moments, and he's had some good plays, but he hadn't had a chance to really get loose into the field. And he's a kid that's gaining his confidence still. And I mean, it was awesome, to see, I mean, he's got some juice. I didn't know first time I watched this kid, he's in Hanley, Alabama, and I'm watching, I'm like, and nobody's recruiting him. I'm like, what am I missing? Watched him like 20 times. I'm like, is there something wrong we don't know about here? This kid can play, man. He's a good football player, a really good player. We got T.J. Green out of Sylacauga, Alabama. Nobody was recruiting him either. And he left here as a second-round draft pick. And I'd say this kid's similar in that he's coming from a little small place. Nobody really recruited him, but he can play. I mean, he's just a really good football player. And, man, that Eazy-E, oh, man. I'm so excited about him and Jarvis. We got a good group and more help on the way. So be sad to see Maffa go. We'll ride him so we can't ride him no more. And but we got some bright future ahead with some of these young backs.
From a distance, what stands out about South Carolina before you really kind of dive in hard to look at them? What stands out about their season this year and maybe some of the upsets that they pulled?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, the job Shane's done, he's done a great job. I mean, it's hard to win, and I just think he's done an awesome job of instilling belief in them and getting them to play as one. I think they got a really dynamic young quarterback that really is, I think, a great leader, super talented, and they got one of the best defenses in the country. I mean, their defense is playing at an incredibly high level. So, I don't know a ton about them other than just, obviously you're in the same state, you kind of keep up a little bit, but I just think they've done an awesome job as a staff and the leadership on their team in finding a way to win a bunch of games when it's not easy to do that. So really, really good football team.
You think Capehart has a chance of playing Saturday?
I'd say he's got a chance.
How close was Marcus Tate and R.J. Mickens to being ready to go today?
They're still day to day, not quite hour to hour, but closer. So we're hopeful. We'll see where they are on Monday.
He's how far behind? Oh,
Yeah, same with Tristan.
I was about to ask about Tristan.
Yeah, same, both of them.
Vizino took a sack in the third quarter. Was that on him to make? Was that on him, that sack? And
Yep,
is
it
that
was on
part of
him.
his maturation, just to reading that better and getting it out quicker next
Yeah,
time in his maturation?
just got to play. I mean, Cade led the world in sacks last year, and he just needs to play. So it's great every time he gets a chance to play. He could have got rid of that one for sure. Should not have taken a sack there, but man, I really like this kid. I really do. I mean, he's a big, strong. People don't realize this guy can run, and he's a very physical, willing runner, and he's fast. So he just gets better and better. You know, again, he's one of those guys that we've seen great y'all don't see him a lot, but we've seen a lot of growth in him this year, and I think he's got a chance to have a bright future for us. But he just needs to play and make some mistakes and you know, keep growing.
Drayton, the Citadel coach, said that the refs approached him at halftime about moving to 10-minute quarters, and he was adamant, no, I'm not going to do that.
Me too.
We're here to compete.
Yeah.
How did that kind of go down?
I think Abe came and said, hey, the refs want to see you. That never happens. I said, for what? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, well, okay. And so they walked in and they just said, hey, there's an option to shorten the. I said, no, we're not doing that. You know, I got a bunch of guys that need to play. I got a bunch of guys that need to go play, and I need to see them play. You know, they practice, and you know, it's an opportunity, especially with where we were at halftime. You know, you're going to get a chance to play a lot of guys. So, you know, I'm not interested in just going out there and putting 80 points. We certainly, you know, could have left everybody in there and tried to do all that. So I want to see guys play, and so those kids deserve the opportunity, and you know, good to see. I mean, I thought the goal line stand that was quite a group out there. You know, that was awesome. You know, Armand, young Kylan Webb made a couple plays, and you know, it was really good to see that group. You got Champ Thompson and Heaven, you know, two young guys out there playing at D tackle that we think is going to be really good players, and so it's fun to see them all get out there and play and get a stop. But you know, we needed that. We needed that opportunity in that time.
What was the explanation at the end of the game? I guess you tried to call a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, it just, you know, we were trying to get Rigby a carry. It's what we were trying to do, and our fans wouldn't cooperate. So we just, you know, let's move on. It was over, but that's all. We were just trying to get Rigby in the game. We got him in on special teams, but we were trying to get him a carry.
I know it was backup units, but on the blocked field goal and extra point, did you able to see what happened?
Low kicks. I mean, my wife Kathleen could have blocked them. She's 5 feet tall. She'd have blocked both of them. So it wasn't hard to diagnose that one. One was an extra point. I'm not sure it got past the left butt cheek of the guard. And the other one, I think, was blocked by an armpit. So it was just really low worm burners. Like Larry's golf shots from time to time, worm burners. That was, oh boy. But, you know, it was good to get those guys in there. But frustrating, you know, because it goes down as a block. You know, we lead the world in blocks. So hopefully we can have a great week this week. We're going to need it.
Any questions for Coach virtually? Anybody else in the room? All right, thank you, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, sir.